The number one thing obviously is, why am I leaving the Philippines? I've been actually considering...
And also,
Hi.
what do we got here?
Radio down.
On the way to the airport.
Right, good afternoon everyone. Unfortunately,
And so we're headed to the airport right now. Ooh, missed the place already.
not yet open.
Ah, there you go, my G.
Oh, no problem. We can take like this.
Man, pimped us for.
Okay. Cold water. Cold water. Cold water.
And so, guys, talking about leaving the Philippines, once again we're on another beach. I'll tell you, let me share with you a little bit the plans, a little bit the story. So the Philippine series with Ali, with Harry, it's already a couple of weeks back. As you saw in the beginning, leaving the country has been definitely one of my favorite trips. Very different vibe, also different videos that I've been creating. But you know, on the one side, I would say for me, in many ways, it's kind of time to get out of Asia. And the number one thing obviously is, why am I leaving the Philippines? I've been actually considering to extend the visa, but the visa obviously only goes for 30 days. I think 35, 40 days probably would have been optimal. But at that point, didn't quite bother to go extend for another few days. Maybe I'll be again towards the end of the year, maybe next year, because I think there's still obviously so much more to see and do. Definitely one of my favorite trips in the last year or two. And just to reveal to you already, I am right now, only for a week, only for a quick layover, that maybe will be a video or two. We are in Thailand. And also,
Hi.
what do we got here?
We got crabs.
I saw in your comment section often people were like, why are you not in the Philippines?
Yeah.
You remember?
Well, I cannot get a visa, unfortunately,
So this is Bianca. This you have been on my channel for a while now.
for a long while.
And as of right now, we're going to be shooting a few videos together in Thailand. And then I think in Malaysia. Also, there will be a full series. Seriously, look at this crab, guys.
Yeah, they're so pretty.
Okay, we have a wide angle. You probably don't see them. But right now, this is definitely one of my favorite beaches in Thailand, Tupkak Beach. Still have to say, in terms of blue waters, it's hard to find them like in the Philippines, maybe in some places. But the limestones, truly. There will be, I think, 1 or 2 videos from this area here. I already shot a huge video series from Thailand before. Guys, we're talking about traveling, living in different countries, or generally being on the internet. I want to show you how you can put your laptop anywhere in the world. And this is where today's video sponsor, Surfshark, comes in. So Surfshark is a VPN and helps you to stay safe on the internet by encrypting your passwords and personal data, especially when I'm on the road, I'm in cafes, I'm using public Wi-Fi. A VPN is a really useful tool. Surfshark allows you to virtually travel the world. You can log in on over 3,200 different servers all over the world. So what is it? Over 95 countries. And the best part, if you have one subscription, it allows you to log in with unlimited devices. That can be useful, for example, when you're booking hotels. Me being on the road all the time, let's say if you're booking from abroad, you go online, sometimes you will see one price. But if you're locally or just try out a different country, you will see that there might be a different price. On the other side, let's say you're using a streaming service like Netflix. You want to watch yourself a little bit of Batman. You go online in your country, it might be not available, or maybe one version. For example, with Batman, you go into Hungary, you open up, and all of a sudden all the different Batmans are available. So basically, Surfshark is like wearing good bathing shorts on a beach. It keeps all the private parts safe and secure. And on that note, you will on that note, you will find my discount code Danny in the description of this video. If you use it, you get 83% off, and on top of that, 3 months of Surfshark for free. But the other reason also is I haven't visited home in over a year, and what was it? It was June of 2021, and there has been many reasons for it. On the one side, obviously quite far. On the other side, last year I really committed myself to like really turning this channel into a business and having a few other projects on the side as well. But half a year ago I was like, hey, I could go home right now, but I was like, hey, I have to go all in. And really a lot of goals that I've set, being in terms of the channel growth, Instagram growth of the income. Basically what I'm saying is I was like, hey, I want to come home when I feel like I have achieved the goals that I've set out, when I've kind of left, and obviously come home to visit the family. And in the future I want to visit them so much more often. But at that point I said to myself like, hey, I really want to come back as a bit of a new person, a different person on a different, let's say, chapter in life. And yeah, this year has been very, very good in every aspect that you can imagine: life, lifestyle, income, just personal goals. And we've been working hard, like pushing out videos 3, 4, sometimes even 5 times a week, and a couple of other projects that I'll definitely will be telling you about in the next few months. And very, very excited to see the family again, see my sister, see my parents. You know, I think it's really one of those things. I think everybody, especially like for me, I always felt like my mom gave me the gift of a certain freedom to pursue the things that I want in life. Even though I come from an immigrant family, it's very easy to fall into the idea of like, you know, like how are they doing? But she's like, hey, go out, do you, make sure you're gonna like achieve what you want to achieve. And that's why I also felt like, hey, we have to hit certain goals that I've had. I cannot come home and look into my mom's eyes in the sense of like, yeah, you know, like, basically last year has been good. I'm very excited to visit them for a week or two, and then visit them at least a couple of times a year. That's a commitment. And what else? On the other side, I've spent in Asia almost a year. It really wasn't the plan. What was it? A month in the Philippines. It was like 3-4 months in Thailand. It was 5 months in Indonesia. What was in between? A couple of trips in between to Dubai. And I was considering to stay even longer in the Philippines. I was considering to maybe even go to India and Pakistan for a couple of weeks to shoot a travel series, but decided that I'll visit the family. Then there will be a travel series from Malaysia. There has been a few things that I wanted to shoot and a few opportunities that I'm really excited. I think it will make for a really good video series, which is coming right after. Maybe I will make a video about coming home, maybe share with you a bit of also personal stuff, just maybe a little bit the family for a week or two. I'll visit them, then head out for another couple of months, try to also spend a bit more time in Europe while it's still sort of warm. And yeah guys, the Philippine trips overall, maybe I'll make another highlight video. I mean, over the past few years, I've always keep coming back to the Philippines kind of like at the beginning of certain new chapters, be it like just personal growth, but also just generally, you know, if you visit once every 2 years, you come again optimally always as a new person. And so Philippines kind of like keeps following me a little bit in my life, just looking at the crafts here, seriously. So what are we on right now, just to check? 5 minutes. Maybe I'm gonna include a couple more shots from my favorite time in the Philippines. I think it definitely deserves a full kind of like after movie. Like I like to make them like when I spend especially like at least a month in a country, just put together all the best moments, line them up, tell the full story of the experience. And yeah, so on that note, if you have been watching for the full month, or if you have been here around for the last couple of years, thank you for joining on the road. You know, Got a World to See stands for building a life of freedom around the world, and not just location independence freedom, not maybe just freedom from like certain, you know, things you may be like, but like also a lot of freedom up there about setting out certain goals, certain ideas, a certain vision of your future life, and then just putting in the years to make it happen step by step. It doesn't need to happen overnight. You know, everything that I do right now full time, I've been doing for years and years on end, and with every new step, with every new progress, I always feel like, hey, we're just getting started, and we don't even want it to happen that fast. Like I work every day as if I want it to happen tomorrow, or let's say next week. But at the same time, I think the best way is if your life comes together after a couple of years, and just looking back, I documented every single month not every day, but obviously every month of my life over the past like at least 3 years, you know, and you see the journey. And as of for the past almost 3 years, I've been living remotely around the world, and I think it's gonna be time to take the Got a World to See series into a couple of different areas of the world, a little bit of Europe, maybe Eastern Europe, maybe a little bit the Balkans. Have a plan to go to Cyprus for a couple of weeks, and who knows, South America is definitely on my list, but it has been on my list for years, so I cannot make any promises, you know. As of right now, I'm really at the point where I've really created the life of having multiple bases around the world. It's not just about traveling and visiting, but coming back to certain places. Like, I think KL will be a base for a month to work on projects. That's kind of like the goal, while still enjoying the big city life that is coming soon. And yeah, so if you're trying to build a bit more freedom, a bit more excitement in the morning, start now, because this life that you see on my channel, first of all, it's mostly travel videos, so it always looks, you know, easy and nice and whatever, but you know, still most of the production side is on my side, while I do have a few people helping me here and there. But we'll see. What I want to say is, I saw this like 6-7 years ago, one morning, early morning, nice and caffeinated. I was like, I got a world to see, and I saw it. And then 3-4 years ago, I was like, wait a minute, that's what I was working towards too. Let's go all in. And we did, and everything fell into place quite all right, you know. Generally, we're moving into a good direction, and I'm so grateful that you have been part of this journey so far. And on this note, you too got a world to see.
Around 6 years ago, I realized that there is so much more beyond the borders of what you're familiar of. Got a World to See was born, and it is all about living and traveling through different countries, all under the premise of finding more. More opportunity, more adventure, more freedom.